This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. A teaser trailer for Amazon's Masters of the Universe live action was dropped. And this is interesting to me because if you've seen a 1987 movie, it doesn't work very well for lots of reasons. Well, the biggest of which is probably that Dolph Lundgren was cast as He-Man. But it doesn't work. There are interesting moments in it, and I suggest you see it. It's not great by any stretch, but at least it's interesting. The problem with He-Man in a live-action milieu is that simply the character doesn't work very well. He has very little in the way of nuance and depth. Now keep in mind something. He-Man is based upon the Mattel line of toys, Masters of the Universe. And it was always designed to appeal to children. Now I'm assuming that the teaser for Masters of the Universe is going to work to broaden that base, because I expect this movie to be relatively high budgeted. And so, while I was going to say that you can't really make returns on just children, that's not really true. After all, I suspect that a lot of parents were dragged to see Zootopia 2 by their children, and that movie is already crossed $1 billion. And if I recall, is the most profitable animated movie ever made. So if they were attempting to appeal to children in particular, that could work. I get the feeling they're not going to do it. Another thing about He-Man, which I think is a little hard for most adults to swallow, is his name, He-Man. He-Man is not a name. It is a term describing a particular type of male. Very buff, very muscular, very tough. And it's very literal, too literal in fact. But when you're dealing with something made for children, nuance is typically thrown out.
Not long ago, when times were simpler, this was a healthy breakfast. This was a powerful workout. And this was a hero.
I did like that cartoon.
Perhaps now more than ever, we need that kind of hero again.
Well, that was the official teaser trailer for Masters of the Universe, and it shows very little. And in fact, that trailer reminded me a lot of the opening for the Tron films, which is essentially an information dump. And that's a variation of what happens in that trailer. It's not bad what little they actually show of the movie, as they also said the full trailer will be released tomorrow, so they can build on it. But based on what little information is delivered, it looks, at least visually, really good. Now, this Nicholas Galazine, the actor playing He-Man, I'm pretty sure I've seen somewhere, but I don't recall. And I don't know how they're going to approach this material, in the sense that, if you recall the 1987 movie starring Dolph Lundgren, it spent a lot of time on Earth. In fact, I would say the bulk of its time was spent on Earth. And part of me thinks that has a lot to do with just keeping the budget down, because you're not building sets and so on and so forth. You're just in a neighborhood somewhere. Though I don't expect this version to do that. And as I said, not knowing much about the lead, I don't know how this can go one way or the other. Though as I said, the full trailer will be released tomorrow, which will give me more information to make an informed decision. So what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider like, follow, or buy me a coffee.